fame is irrelevant. I don't want to make money if it means being someone I don't want to be.
From what she said to how this fits her style of life and more, join me as we explore how Billie Eilish pushes back against body shaming. 6. What did Billie Eilish do?
When I said that, there were kids that were posting and being like, oh my God, I've always had this.
Yeah.
Like, now she has it and she's who I can look up to with it.
Billie Eilish, by and large, is one of the most popular people on the planet right now for a whole host of reasons. Not the least of which is her rather outspoken nature, which a ton of fans dig, that has her ripping into various parts of culture and telling people what they really need to hear in order to be happy. What's more, Billie Eilish has always been one to buck the trend and do what she feels is right and necessary versus what the world expects of her. A key example of this is with her attire. Since she got popular, Billie Eilish has always performed in clothes that are atypical for a rising female star. Most people think of the female style for singers as a certain way because of Taylor Swift, Beyoncé, or even Lady Gaga. But for Billie, she went and did the opposite of them. Instead of wearing less clothes or very flashy clothes, she went and wore a bunch of baggy clothes. Ones that really did cover all of her body, as well as make her one of the more realistic singers in the world. She did this because of what she believes about her body and how people should view her. And that's why it's so shocking when, at a concert, she delivered a major speech about body shaming and how we should not be defined by what our bodies look like. 5. What she said.
What I like about just dressing like I'm 800 sizes bigger than I am is it kind of gives nobody the opportunity to judge what your body looks like.
Going back to the baggy clothes, the reason that Billie Eilish wears them is simple. She doesn't want to be seen as eye candy like many other female singers. She doesn't want people to look at her body and fantasize about it, for lack of a better term. What's more, she didn't want people to look at her body and judge it because it wasn't fit enough or it could be so much better and all that. That kind of body shaming really sets her off. Apparently, it reached her boiling point because at a concert, she made a speech about body shaming that resonated with a lot of people and ended with a somewhat shocking act. Some people hate what I wear, some people praise it, some people use it to shame others, some people use it to shame me, but I feel you watching, Eilish said during a concert at American Airlines Arena in Miami Monday. So while I feel your stares, your disapproval, or your sigh of relief, if I lived by them, I'd never be able to move. She went on, if I wear what is comfortable, I am not a woman. If I shed layers, I'm a slut, Eilish said. Though you've never seen my body, you still judge it and judge me for it. We decide who they are, we decide what they're worth, the 18-year-old added before taking off her shirt. While I'm sure some of you out there will see this as a scandalous move or one that was meant to get attention, trust me when I say that this was not intended to be either. Outside of bringing attention to body shaming, that is. Billie Eilish might be outspoken, but she's also incredibly reserved in various aspects of her life. To do that speech was fine. She's always open to talking about the problems of the world, but to take off her shirt in front of a crowd and then basically let the whole internet, and thus the world, see her body, that's a different thing entirely, and it shows how far she's come in recent years. 4. Body dysmorphia.
Me and my body's relationship has been the most toxic relationship you could even imagine.
If you're curious what we meant by that last line, it's rather simple actually. You see, when it comes to Billie Eilish, her baggy clothes were just to shield her from body shamers. It was to shield herself from having to see her body. Ever since she was a kid, Billie Eilish was not very happy with how her body looked. It got so bad that she basically got diagnosed with body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphic disorder is a mental health disorder in which you can't stop thinking about one or more perceived defects or flaws in your appearance. A flaw that appears minor or can't be seen by others. But you may feel so embarrassed, ashamed, and anxious that you may avoid many social situations. I'm sure many of you out there have had periods of your life where you think that you might have had that, especially in school days, right? Well, for Billie, it was just as bad, and it really rocked her world for a long time. The issue started when, at 12 years old, Eilish joined a competitive dance company. It was filled with really pretty girls, she says. That was probably when I was the most insecure. I wasn't as confident. I couldn't speak and just be normal, the singer reflects. When I think about it or see pictures of me then, I was so not okay with who I was. That, mixed with the outfits she was required to wear for dance, proved a damaging combination. At dance, you wear really tiny clothes. I've never felt comfortable in really tiny clothes. I was always worried about my appearance. That was the peak of my body dysmorphia, Eilish says, admitting I couldn't look in the mirror at all. And to be clear, this wasn't a one-off kind of thing. All I can think of is how miserable I was, how completely distraught and confused. 13 to 16 was pretty rough, Eilish admits. However, if there's one small benefit to all of this, it's that she knows what many young girls are going through, and it helps her connect to them and encourage them to be kinder to themselves. Sometimes I see girls at my shows with scars on their arms, and it breaks my heart, comments the singer. I don't have scars anymore because it was so long ago, but I've said to a couple of them, just be nice to yourself, because I know I was there. 3. The response to the act.
But that fool was wrong.
As we all hopefully know, it's not enough just to do a certain act. You can do a deed, but if no one responds to it in the way that it's intended, it doesn't come off well. However, thankfully for Billie and all the people that needed to hear her speech in the world, the response to what she did couldn't have been more positive, especially in the eyes of those who watched it live. Billie Eilish, her body-shaming speech is everything everybody needs to hear, one commentator wrote. I wish I was a teen when she came up. She would have given me so much strength. Here's another response to what she did. The way she shut down all those body shamers is amazing, wrote another fan. I'm proud of her. She looks absolutely beautiful. And of course, there were many tweets with the video of what she said and did, and a vast majority are overwhelmingly positive. Now, it's true that inevitably there will be someone who types up something unkind about Billie Eilish and what she said and did, but in truth, that one voice or a few voices don't matter. The true fans and the good people who heard what she said will see the beauty in what she did, and that's what matters here. 2. Billie Eilish and her fans.
Yes!
Without a doubt, one of the reasons that Billie Eilish is so popular isn't just because of her incredible singing voice. It's because she has a very loving connection with her fans. She sees them like family and goes out of her way multiple times to go and treat them like fans. That, above all else, is why she no doubt did that speech and act. It wasn't just to break attention to body shaming and what we should do to stop such a thing, but it was because she knew that at least one person, male or female, in the audience, or even just in her overall fan base, needed to hear those words. She could have done it in an interview, and she has technically in the past, but you never know if the fans are going to see those pieces. But if you do it at a concert where all eyes and ears are on you, yeah, that's the way to get the message across. Billie loves her fans because she knows better than most that without them, she doesn't have a career. Sure, she would have gotten published on her voice alone, but if no one buys her tracks, comes to her concerts, and so on and so forth, it would have been a short career, maybe even a one-hit wonder kind of career. But the fans love Billie, and so she does what she can to help them in all aspects, to guide them, to motivate them, to encourage them, and more. And this act cements that she's even willing to do things she never would have done years ago because she knows that her fans needed her to be a beacon of hope and light. So that's what she did. 1. If you don't like your body,
we lay all day in our comfy bed. What a wonderful life.
In closing, if you feel like Billie Eilish felt about her body, if all you see are the imperfections and the ways it can be better, use this speech as your battle cry, your fight song, or whatever words you want to use to motivate yourself to understand that your body doesn't need to be perfect. You don't have to look like the other guys or girls. You don't need to look like a supermodel or have rock-hard abs or be the desire of every person. That's what society thinks you need to look like, but that's not what life is about. You should look at yourself and say, I'm okay with who I am. Or if you honestly feel like you need to lose a little weight to be in your right body or get stronger so you can do more, go for it. But do it for the right reasons. not because of what other people think of you. It's your life and your body. Be who you want to be. That's what Billie Eilish does, and she's a pretty good role model, even if she doesn't think so herself. So, what do you think? What do you think of what Billie Eilish did and how she inspired her fan base? Do you agree with what she did? What do you think of the speech itself? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the channel.